Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the American Scouser pre-match show featuring the second leg of the EFL Cup semi-final. We're already in the second leg. Who would have thought? Under the lights, this time at Craven Cottage, with me, as always, is the other half of the pre-match dynamic duo. It's Kazi. What's going on, man?
What's going on, fella? Dream team, innit? It's
Yeah,
a bit
dream
like
team.
fucking LeBron and Jordan, head to head here.
I
I
know,
love
eh?
it.
Like it's like when you say midweek pre-match show, you just think of two people. It's just John and Kazi at
The
this
guys
point.
the guys who are at home, yeah.
The guys who are at home, yeah. So I mean, obviously, nerves coming in, big semi-final, but let's just get to the news here. Liverpool lineup, Kazi.
Mhm.
Any standouts, surprises, pleasant surprises, negative surprises?
Oh, good question. Um, Surprises? No. Maybe Gravenberch is a slight surprise. But
Right.
as soon as we've seen Jones go off on the weekend, we kind of probably knew that someone had to play there. Um, it's quite clear he's managing Jota's minutes, in my opinion. I think he feels like Jota for Chelsea, and we should be able to get the next two games out the way, hopefully without Jota or Jota coming off the bench today, kind of thing. So no, of course, seeing Robertson on the bench is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Exactly what we need. Is a left back. Any left back is a competent left back right now. As much as Jones has done a really good job there, we do lose a lot of attacking impetus when we don't have a normal left back. So
Right.
yeah, happy with the team. Think it's super strong. I'm more happy with Nunes back on the left. It looks like Gakpo might be down the middle and Diaz on the right, which I think most fans would agree right now is probably, apart from Jota, if you're going to play these three guys, they're the positions we'd like to see them in. So super pleased, mate. Yeah, and I'm excited.
On that note about Gakpo, obviously he's not been really getting as much starting roles as he would like, considering we all know how good a player he is. But that goodness, that skill that he has of being a Swiss army knife, that versatility, he could play midfield. He could actually play through. He's arguably the only player amongst our front line that can play on the right, middle, and left. And you'd feel like he'd probably drop a 7 out of 10 out of everyone, if I would say, right? So do you think it's kind of like both a blessing and a curse? Because Klopp kind of sees him as kind of like if there's a game on, right, he'd put in his first choice attackers. Then you got Gakpo on the bench. Then if things aren't working out, you'd kind of diagnose the problem. Like, where is the problem coming from? Is it from the midfield? I can put Gakpo there. Is it on the right? I can put Gakpo there. Or on the left or in the center, et cetera, et cetera. And that kind of works against him being that dynamic of a backup option, you think?
Yes, I do think it does go against these types of players where, because they are so versatile in different positions, that it does give the manager questions and answers. Milner was perfect for them in that sense. It's actually surprising Milner would have played over Gomez left back if he was still here. So that's what he probably would have done. And and he might have done bits at right back as well over Conor Bradley. So that's how things work, unfortunately. But in terms of Gakpo, yeah, it can be a flaw for him. Great for Liverpool, like a dream for Liverpool. But for him, if he wants to play, if he sees himself as a number 9, well, he plays so good in the 8, he plays so good off the left, at the right, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm confident. I'm fine with Cody getting his minutes here. I also think as well he was quite good first leg as well. I think he scored as well, didn't he, in the first leg? So hopefully, fingers crossed, mate. He can have another one.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's top scorer in the competition as well. You wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think it.
I think Minamino basically got top goal scorer, I think, when we won it last time. Because Minamino just I think every time Klopp tried to get knocked out, Minamino was like, no, we're gonna win this by default.
Right. Absolutely. And speaking of, let me bring in Gordo. Gordo, how you doing, man? Have the nerves finally kicked in? Is that 5 out of 10 rating that you gave this morning still the same, or it got lower, it got higher? What is it?
It's about the same.
It's about the same.
Yeah. I don't think I've gotten any more nervous. It is a semifinal. Like I keep wanting to stress that because I feel like there's something about the Carabao Cup that people just kind of sleep on.
Yeah.
And it's a big game. It's away from home, semifinal. We're not out of the woods yet. 2-1 is still a close game, but I don't know. I really liked what I saw against Bournemouth. I mean, Bournemouth was the most informed side in the Premier League. They out of the last 8 games, they collected one more point than we did over those 8 games, and we beat them soundly in the second half. So I'm pretty confident.
Lineup, Gordo. Do you see anything here that surprises you for the better, for the worse, or it's pretty much what you kind of saw coming?
What do we think? Why do we think Kwanzaa just to get the minutes, because Norwich is the weekend, so you really could plug and play the entire team here because I don't think Norwich is going to give us too much of trouble over the weekend. Konate has been fantastic. Is it just to rest them, you think?
I think if you're the manager, I think he wants to get to Arsenal and go from there. I mentioned before, I don't know if it's been me on the podcast or before. I think we play one game a week after Arsenal for like 7 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just wants to get to Arsenal and go from there. Let's manage it, and then let me get the other lads back like Sadler and Endo. But then, I think he does Konate against Chelsea and Arsenal. I think he might do Konate. So I actually think this is the week off that you might go to Konate. You played a lot of minutes. We know you love a knock. Quans has actually started to become a viable option now. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's starting to be, he's just a kid. No, I actually think he's a viable option to play centre half for Liverpool and could save us 70 million quid in the summer when Matip leaves. So I think that's what it is as well, mate. And also for Quan's sake, though, Gordo, where'd you play? So you're looking now, you actually go, okay, you do Norwich. Do you do Chelsea at home for them? Not really. Then you look at Arsenal away, and then you go, well, not really. Then Liverpool going into a title run. So the kid has to get minutes somewhere and keep playing, doesn't he? So I'm okay with this one, I think. Especially alongside the big dog as well. If he's alongside Gomez or something, I'll be a bit more. Yeah. But alongside the big guy, you know what I mean? It's a bit different in it for him.
That's true. You called the midfield, though, John. That was
a rare instance of me getting actually something right without reverse jinxing it. Before we move on to the show, just want to shout out our friends at Reckless Coffee for sponsoring the morning show. So any of you coffee connoisseurs, Gordo, I know you are one. Kazi, I'm not sure. Are you a coffee connoisseur?
I am a coffee connoisseur.
Right. So any coffee connoisseurs like us three gentlemen here, as a massive consumer of coffee, I can confirm that it's been a massive help getting through work days alongside contributing to the channel. So if you guys haven't already, visit their website at recklesscoffeeroasters.com and grab yourself a bag. Like, it's definitely helps getting through those tough days. Grab yourself a bag, and I'll put the link in the comments. So yeah, get them sponsoring us. Gordo, we talked this morning about the Jones situation, right? And now he's obviously on the bench. You kind of mentioned, playing the hot hand, taking advantage of his great form. So does this look like a case of Klopp maybe prioritizing? Because we all know, as much as Gravenberch gets criticized lately, he's a bit better in open play. And given, we kind of expect Fulham to come at us given the fact that they're down 2-1. Does this mean that Klopp kind of is prioritizing getting that knockout goal over maybe stability and just controlling the play, you think?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, too, it's the hot hand. I mean, you got to keep rolling. It's not, again, Norwich at the weekend, so it's not like we have to rest any players really for either one of those. Because so we kind of had, I think he had the pick of the bunch here. He could do with his lineup what he wanted to because he didn't really have to think too far ahead of himself.
What about you, Kazi? Do you think that's kind of what the play is here for Klopp? Or, I mean, if you were in charge, right, would you have persisted with Jones on that left side, or would you have given Gravenberch a look in?
It's a great question. I think Gravenberch needs time. I thought he might have done Jones, but Gravenberch does need minutes. And again, where'd you play? At least you might go to Gravenberch now. You're playing the next two, and just you're playing the next two. There's no excuses. You are starting the next two. And I think that could be a confidence thing for him. He needs minutes as much as he's raw and he has a lot of talent there and we know he has ability clearly. So he has to get minutes, doesn't he? And I know it's a semi-final, I get it, but these lads haven't disgraced us when they've come off the bench. And these lads have really come off the bench and changed games and influenced this, so they deserve starts as well, like Anelli and like Gravenberch and players like that. Kwanzaa hasn't disgraced himself, has he, when he's played for Liverpool? So he deserves a start. And then Bradley was excellent against Bournemouth. And he was excellent when he came on against Arsenal. So it's, as much as it's a semi-final, Liverpool, and I want Liverpool to win this game more than anything. I think winning trophies is everything, especially in Liverpool's culture. We have to win football trophies. You're playing, and someone who's waiting for you in the final is a pretty average Chelsea side. No disrespect. So you get to the stage where, as much as it's important, but also Liverpool are going for 4 trophies. And probably the last time we were going for 4 trophies, the probably biggest complaint that Liverpool fans might have, looking back at the whole season, is that we didn't rotate enough towards the end. and our legs kind of fell off a little bit towards the end, and we were just getting over the line a little bit. The manager is rotating because he has options to rotate. So if Liverpool can get to a final with Kwanzaa, Bradley, Gravenberch, Kelleher, Gomez left back, then fucking fantastic news.
Philip says, "Smash the likes for the guys giving us free content." Absolutely, smash those likes button. I don't have the video, the clip of Pickler saying, "Smash that like button." Yeah, I probably should ask Tim for that. But yeah, nerves are kicking in in my end, and I think that's me sitting in Timuchin's seat. The nerves are kind of getting in here, and the nervousness. So
what are you nervous for, John? Out of interest, just what are you nervous for? I know it's a semi-final. I'll get it.
There we go. It's a semi.
Just that's it though, not the opposition.
And the opposition, yeah, because Fulham have given us arguably two of our toughest games.
Tough games,
this year. Yeah, tough game. Cersei, great experience for the youngins. Yeah, it's just that it's great experience, but it happens to be a semi-final as well. And I was going to bring this up, with you guys. The inexperience on that right side, Kwanzaa. I'll start with you, Kazi. Bradley, Kwanzaa. They've been good this year, but again, as mentioned, it's a semi-final, right? Away, and if God forbid Fulham gets that first goal, we'd be rocking a little bit, and you do want a bit of solidity there on that right side. Or are you not seeing it that way? You're kind of seeing okay, these guys, they have to work through it kind of deal.
Yeah, I think it's the latter. I think it's more that every time they've played against, no disrespect again, tougher opposition. For example, Bradley played against a fresh Martinelli and pocketed him for 30 minutes at the Emirates. So, you know what I mean? And Martinelli's a very, very good winger. So I feel like the lads deserve starts. You earn your right to play for Liverpool. This is not a fucking token gesture that these lads are in this team. They've earned it. Bradley's earned to start. Kwanzaa's been excellent and earned his starts. And he deserves his moments in this kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So, no, not really. I know Willian's a good player. He is. And the one I was actually quite surprised, I don't know if you got the Fulham squad there, John, is that he didn't start Reed. And I thought Reed played really well against Liverpool last time, the little ginger kid. I thought he played really well. I thought he was excellent, and he hasn't started him, which makes me feel a little bit better about myself. But no, mate, again, these lads are not kids anymore. They're starting to become viable options. You know what I mean? Bradley was Bolton's player of the year last year, which is nothing to be sniffed at. Do you know what I mean? And Kwanzaa's showing that. So let's get behind them. Yes, they're young. They're going to have to get spoken through it. But there's also a lot of experience around them as well. With Van Dijk, with Gomez, with Ali. Sorry, not Ali. McAllister's won a World Cup and shit, mate. There's good players around them as well, you know what I mean? So I'm excited, mate. I'm excited to see them get more minutes.
I guess it's the pragmatism, Gordo, of the morning shows that's kind of rubbing into me here. Looking at this Fulham lineup, Gordo, does that right side, our right side, in contrast to theirs, concern you at all? Obviously, this is probably their strongest lineup, but any worries on your end?
I mean, like Kazi said, Willian's always somebody that he really does favor that side. They kind of give him a little bit of freedom in where he moves, and he can come in through the middle, but he does prefer to go out wide and beat a player on and bring it back in. It does concern you a little bit, but again, the way that Bradley handled himself at Arsenal, I'm not worried. And again, Kwanzaa, Bradley, these guys come good in big games like this, and we can constantly say that maybe not the best 90 minutes, but solid. Then it saves us money. Then we don't have to, because how many years in a row have we said the back is where we need to buy, and we never do, and we're always left disappointed by people that we bring in, or the lack of people that we bring in, and having these two guys get these experiences in these big games, coming through and playing big teams. I mean, it bodes well for everybody. I'm not concerned. I really am, or not.
I
wish I had I had the confidence. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I joined the channel.
Listen, mate. Fulham are a good side. That's a good squad of players.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And they should be higher up the table, in my opinion, than where they are. Mm-hmm. But I actually think he's got the starting lineup slightly wrong. I would have done a Dakova Reed up front and played Reed, because I think Van Dijk can deal with Jimenez in his current state. If it was Jimenez pre-head injury, I'd be a lot more worried, because I think we all agree that he's one of the best strikers in the league at the time.
Yeah.
He's not the same guy. And I feel like with that, if Jimenez wants to go into that physical battle, I think we'll be okay with the two big lads. So I thought he might have done Dakova Reed or Wilson down the middle and played Reed. But he's went with the standard stuff of what he knows, which is his wingers getting the ball in. He's done the Reed for the same thing, get the ball into Jimenez for headers and stuff like that. Maybe Jimenez, I want to go and play on Kwanzaa because he's a kid and try and, play off him and let the kid make a mistake. Okay, if you want to do that, that's no problem at all, but then you need to get these attackers in the box.
Right.
This is another part of this conversation on me, is that Liverpool do not need to win this football match. Liverpool can sit there on the 17, goes 1-0, we're sound on them. Like, we'll just take it on the counter and just play counter-attacking football. You know what I mean? And we'll just bring off, Jota off the bench and Jones off the bench. All right. We'll just, we'll do that then. So that's another part of this little bit. I don't know if Fulham are going to come out tomorrow and dominate the ball. I think Fulham, as much as they'll want possession at home and the crowd might be up for it, I think Fulham might have an idea just to sit in for 20 minutes, the first 20, and don't blow your load earlier. Because if you do in Liverpool, you're on the 30, then you might start looking at subs already. Do you know what I mean? So I think actually Fulham might sit in and give Liverpool the ball the first 20 and go, we'll bide our time and play our way into this game. Do you know what I mean? If they come out all guns blazing, Liverpool will score on the counter in the first 10 and just kill you. So it's an interesting balance that the manager's got to think about.
You think that's how it's going to go, Gordo? Fulham being a bit quite cautious, but then secretly hopeful that they can steal one, maybe two, knock us out kind of deal?
I think that it would have to be a gambling manager to send him out guns blazing, right? Because if all you have to do is look at some tape, just a few games of the amount of times that Liverpool score on a fast break. And yeah, you want to get your fans behind you. And sometimes managers will start that way just to keep the crowd going, let's bring it to the touchline 5 or 6 times, keep the crowd up. Let's keep the energy up and take the other team out of the game. But in this game, going down a goal for Fulham is disaster because now it's the mountain becomes that much bigger. The crowd starts to feel that. So I do think that, if you're going to approach the game and you're going to try and play a chess match for 90 minutes, coming out guns blazing is not the way you want to do it. Now, you could gamble that and you could score early and change the whole dynamic of the game. But I don't know. I don't see it happening. It's a semifinal. It's not just, they kind of have to win this game. They have to.
Mm-hmm. But I think there's moments, though, where the attack, though, in a good, as we just agreed, I think there's moments where they go, you know what, we're going to have a big 20 towards the end of the first half, maybe. And that's when we go. And we'll have a big 20 at the start of the second half. And do you know what I mean? And I think there's moments you have to kind of pick and choose. And because, as you say, if you open up against Liverpool, mate, and you want to go all guns blazing, then good luck. Really. So.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to bring back something that we discussed on the Friday show with Timuchin and Anand. So obviously at the start of the season, we had all our predictions and everything. Would you guys be content if we finished the season with the EFL Cup as just our trophy? And for the record, right, I said I would. I'd be probably all right, not ecstatic, but not upset either. So assume we finish the season, we get top 4, all that, but the only thing we win is an EFL Cup. I'll start with you, Gordo. What do you think?
I actually think it was the 3 of us for like the first. It was a pre-match for the first Europa League game, and we're like, we have to win this one in EFL, to win the Carabao and the Europa League for me to be content this year.
Kazi?
No, I think listen at the start of the season, yes, but I think priorities change throughout the season when you see how good the team is. No, I think it's a real underachievement. Liverpool are the favourites in the Europa League. Liverpool are probably the favourites in the FA Cup now because City go to Spurs. So you actually look at Liverpool and go, you're probably the favourites again for that trophy. And Liverpool are 5 points clear at the top of the league. I don't think an EFL Cup will be enough to scratch my itch.
Sparky says bad season. Yeah, we all know how a trophy can. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, isn't it? Like a trophy can glaze over the fact that, like United last year. I'm glad to use them as an example. I think the EFL Cup, winning the EFL Cup, kind of glazed over the weaknesses that they had in the squad. Obviously, they got thumped 7-0, and they could just easily say that's a one-off. But you got silverware there, and you're like, yeah, the squad's good enough to win silverware. But then, are they really?
Trophies, John. Yeah. Trophies buy time.
Yeah.
So that's why Ten Hag's still in the job. Because trophies buy time. So what this might do for these lads, trophies then also think we are good enough to go again and do it again. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. I don't care who we do in the Europa League. I don't care. Bring anyone on. I do not care. Seville aren't even in it anymore, which is fantastic. So it's like So I don't care. So that's how Liverpool have got to look at this. I feel like it's Liverpool on the precipice of something special. And I think through 2 trophies, which ones they are on a minimum. So, let's see.
2 trophies. Well, Sir Z says, given what we've achieved, I'm disappointed if that's all we win. And he follows up with, I'll be disappointed if we don't win the league now.
Disappointment might be the wrong word. I think, I think we fell into a title race. I don't think anyone was expecting Liverpool.
Right.
And we fell into it a little bit. It's a bit like the Brendan Rodgers season, where Liverpool win 14 on the bounce. And then you're like, oh shit. When we were like, I think by Christmas we were like 5th or 6th. And we just kind of, you know what I mean? Because of the clubs dropped, Chelsea, definitely. So I thought disappointment may be the wrong word. But if De Bruyne stays out that team, Liverpool playing City at home, I think if Liverpool are 5 points clear in March, I'll be disappointed if we don't win it. If Liverpool are mid-March, do you know what I mean? But right now, it's still too early days, I think.
What about you, Gordo? Disappointment too strong a word, or would you be a little upset or massively upset?
No, disappointed is too harsh. I mean, we talked about on this morning's podcast. I still don't think I'm shocked that we're in a quad race right now.
Absolutely.
Because I still don't think we've hit top gear. This team, I still feel, has a little bit more to squeeze out of it, and the fact that we're doing so well and haven't really been like, yes, this is the year for me. I think that's I don't think we're punching above our weights necessarily, but it's we did kind of fall into it. I think that's a perfect way to describe it. It hasn't been something that we have built up. It's just kind of like you look at the games that we've lost, the one in the league, and you're like, that's it. It doesn't feel like one of those seasons where we've only
what happened in that game as well, mate. What happened in that game?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's No, sorry, go ahead, Kazi.
No, mate, you're right, because like it is fell into it a little bit, but I do want to say with the run that we're on, I have no idea who our best 11 is, which is fucking insane. Liverpool are in 4 trophies, 5 points clear at the top of the league, and I have no idea who our best 11 is. I do not know who our best centre-back pairing is. I do not know our best midfield. I do not know our best strikers. I have no idea. Because I think at the start of the season, we would have said Kanate and Van Dijk, but then Matip was so good and then got injured. So you're like, okay, and then look at the midfield. We haven't got to recognise number 6, which you think will play week in, week out. The midfielders have kind of come out of form. Jones has stepped up. Szoboszlai's out of form. Who would start in your best 11 fronts? Your best 11 in the midfield? Would Thiago get a game if he was fully fit? I don't know. And then you look at the strikers. You know what I mean? And then Diaz is kind of hit and miss. Same with Nunes. Salah's the only guarantee. So for Liverpool to be in this position, for me, is just insane. Insane that you can actually steal a couple of trophies and maybe even a league title. It's insane.
So in summary, 2 trophies minimum, the Europa League and the League Cup would be just all right. Would be happy.
Yeah. No, I think that's a very good season. I think if you can win the Europa League, the League Cup in second, I think Liverpool can go. That's a very successful season. And especially if you go and win the Super Cup in August. And then, because that's another thing people forget about, because you can go and win the Super Cup and then, oh, fucking hell, you beat the winners of the Champions League, and then Liverpool, that might be the kick up the arse again to go again. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a very successful season. I think if you win them 2 at least.
Same with you, Gordo. Yeah?
No, definitely. Yeah. That's the ones I think we circled before a ball was even kicked this year. They're winnable trophies.
Great. Now we're setting expectations and tempting fate. Yes, Sparky says too early to think about the league until Easter. That is the most pragmatic view I've ever seen. And yeah, you know what? It actually has merit. Sir Z says we make our own luck. Given the decisions gone against us, we have earned our place. For us to lose the league now is because we mess up. Yeah, that's kind of what that's also a bit understated now. It's early, but it's in our hands, right? Like, and that's the best you could ask for. I guess. Isn't
it in City's hands?
Well, they do have a game in hand.
City win every game to beat Liverpool, and then City win it. So City will go to our hands because they got a game in hand. So if they win the game in hand, they're 2 points clear, and they got to play Liverpool. So if they win, they win all. If they win every game, City from now to the end of the season, they win the league. If Liverpool win every game from now to the end of the season, they win the league. So it's also in City's hands. So City might go to Anfield and beat us. So, but we feel confident because we have got a couple of points, but also we play you at Anfield. That's Liverpool's trump card. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool's trump card's Anfield, and go, we'll just take you there. That's why the Stamford Bridge draw looks okay, because you beat them at Anfield next week and you got 4 points off Chelsea, which is okay. Do you know what I mean? So that's where the trump card comes in. So as much as it's in our hands, there's still 17 games to go or 18 games to go. Liverpool have got to play. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's 7 games to go. It's a lot of footy, you know what I mean? A lot of footy.
Absolutely. But let me just go back to Sir Z's point here, Gordo. That last line, we haven't even got all our players back. That kind of gives you a bit of positivity. As much as I want to, be pragmatic and just calm down, there is a part of you that would say, like, hold on a minute, we're playing this well. We smashed Bournemouth in their own ground. Would pretty much this is far from our best 11, right? What more so if we have the likes of Robbo, Trent, Soboslai, et cetera, back, Salah. Like, you'd think that the ceiling is just as high as it could be.
You would hope. I mean, on paper, 100%, because I think that's the thing. Like I said, Bournemouth were the most informed side in the Premier League. And when we played them and we went to their home and we had, 9 players unavailable? I think at any team in the league, even City right now with their bench, could not handle 9 players being out. And we thumped. I know we watched the game, so it didn't feel like a complete thumping because like the first half was totally different than the second. But if you didn't watch the game and you just looked at the stats, that was, I mean, we owned them. We owned that game. We won that game comfortably. And I think that says a lot because, like I said, I mean, pick a league or a team in the world that would have 9 of potentially starting players not available and have them beat the most informed team by 4 goals. I don't know if it happens.
This is the other part of that goal, though, as well. I don't know if you heard the stat that Cody Gakpo was our oldest outfield player on the bench for that game at 24.
Yeah.
He was our oldest outfield player. That's fucking insanity. Like, that Liverpool are going to these grounds and winning 4-0. That's insane. That shouldn't happen. Do you know what I mean?
It was, 6 players under 21 years of age for like 43.
Some lads, we're big Liverpool fans, of course, watch every game. Some of those lads on that bench I wouldn't recognise if they bumped into me. That's insane. It is, though. I couldn't tell what Owen Beck looked like until he literally came off the bench, and I was like, "Oh, that's who this person is." And he played like 3 years ago. So it's like I just feel like what these lads are doing is literally playing out the skin. They're stepping up when we need them to step up. Because right now we are struggling. Liverpool are not buying anyone in the January transfer window, but you get the big boys back, as Gordo just said. As Sergi said, wait till we get them back. Wait till we get like 10 games out of Thiago. Just get us over the line before you leave. Do you know what I mean? Because you will get them. You will get them eventually. And then you look and get Salah back. Look at imagine City losing 9 first-team players.
No, they couldn't do it this week. No way.
They couldn't do it, mate. Like, they've lost Haaland. We've lost Salah. Like, it's the same thing. He does the same thing for us. He scores goals for them. It's the same thing. And they're, you know what I mean? They're kind of getting over the line. So I'm so proud of this team. The manager showed me this season as well, mate, a new side of him in terms of his subs and how tactically astute he's been. Like, this season more than any other. I think he's used his bench brilliantly at times. Like today, if Liverpool go out and win the game 1-0 today, we all sit there and go, look at that starting 11. Fucking hell, man. And he's went there and won a semi-final. We rave about him again. Great news. Great times, man.
Yeah. Speaking of great news, going back to the game here, obviously we got Andy Robertson on the bench, Gordo. Do you see him getting some sort of look in, or just he's just there for maybe insurance purposes as a break glass in case of emergency?
No, I think you have to play him, right? He's been out for a long time. He's been our first choice for such a long time. I think you do see him.
Mm-hmm.
Same with you, Kazi?
Yes. Yeah, I think what a great game from him. Of course, you'd like to bring him on when we're 2-0 up or something because he couldn't be asked with extra time if it goes to extra time, an extra 30 minutes in the lad's legs. Because I think he gets 70 against Norwich. And then I think you'd eye him up for Chelsea and then see what he can do then. But yeah, I think he definitely plays. I think he's actually probably the first important sub that he'll make. So.
And Sparky says he gets 20 minutes. Yeah, that's a pretty good amount, considering how long he's been out. Sergi says City lost points when Rodri was out. We've had Trent, Alisson, Van Dijk, Salah, Robo, Tsimikas. Yes, we pretty much found a way to win. And that's kind of the mentality that Klopp instilled here, that no matter how much we're beaten down, we just find a way to get back up and keep on swinging, which I don't know, with the blue side of Manchester, given all their riches and everything. I don't know if they have that in them. They've always been in a position of ascendancy, right? What we've always had to fight with what we've had. I guess what I'm trying to say is
they've had 2 players injured. City. So that's the mentality. They've had De Bruyne and Haaland. I get
Yeah.
that they plays for them. I'm not arguing that. But they've had 2 players injured. That's it all season. I don't know if the keeper's injured. I have no idea because he got injured against Newcastle.
Yeah, he was taken off. Yeah,
He's taken off. So I have no idea because it looked like it might have been a cut or something like that. So he might be able to play next week. But they've had no injuries. Like, imagine taking Rodri at that side, or even taking the centre halves out. Do you know what I mean? Even Guardiola and Diaz and stuff, taking 1 or 2 of them out. Liverpool have lost the second best 3 centre halves the whole season. It's massive. It's just so, you know what I mean? We're having it, man. I'm fucking, let's go for it.
Yeah, Sparky pretty much put what I was trying to say perfectly. We play with heart, they play for money. So I don't know. Like, it's pretty much how I would summarize it. Obviously, before we go, let me just do the housekeeping here. If you guys enjoy our content, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at American Scouser. We also are on Facebook, Twitter, or X, whichever you prefer, and we even have a TikTok account. So if you guys are into that, are active to any of those platforms.
Yeah, if you want to see John in the spandex, you can sign on to TikTok. He does a couple dances.
We haven't sorted out the Patreon yet, but that's probably in the highest tier.
That's it. American Scouser after that.
Yeah, I got to take one for the teams at some point.
Below deck.
So give us a follow, guys. Your support definitely means the world to us. And, we're going to try and do our best to keep the content free for as long as possible because, your support is what keeps us going. Guys, wrapping this up, let me get your final predictions for this game. I'll start with you, Gordo.
I still say 2-1. I think we score first. The crowd goes down. Fulham get one back, kind of make it a little interesting for the cameras, and then we squash all their dreams in the 75th.
Kazi?
Yeah, I was thinking 2-1, but now I've seen the side and stuff, I'll say comfortable win, Liverpool 3-0. I just think we might score early and then kill them.
Sparky says 2-0. And for the record, I went with the 2 Muchin special this morning. I'm going to go down to 2-1 with you guys because of the trying to be more pragmatic here. So I'll just go with that. But yeah, just like that, another pre-match show in the books. Once again, we thank you all for tuning in and all the support once again. Of course, don't forget to catch the post-match show probably around 10-15 minutes after the final whistle, in which, we are hopefully talking about the Reds advancing to yet another League Cup final, right? I don't know the stat, but that would be the 15th, 16th League Cup final. Jeez, man. That is insane. Yeah. That is insane. So, yeah, gents, I appreciate you joining me. Gordo, Kazi, appreciate you guys. And for everyone watching, enjoy the game. Up the Reds.
Cheers, guys.